I was walking down the street. I was chasing my dreams. And basically, I was in an elaborate scheme in order to try to accomplish my goals. So here's the story behind that, though, because a lot of people don't understand what it is that your goal is in life, What exactly is a goal? How do you accomplish a means of gaining an entry to a goal? A lot of people need to look at like baby steps and stuff of that nature, and that's what I was thinking too. Because babies, they don't take steps, they crawl. And you got to learn to crawl before you can, do anything else in life. So I had to start from the beginning, from the day that I became a whole person and not a seed that was shot out of a cannon, so to speak, because we all start there. We all start as eggs, hard-boiled, So I'm here to tell you the story of a hard-boiled egg, and it started when I woke up one Friday night. Well, actually, it was evening, around 1 o'clock in the hospital. So, whenever I got home that day, from what I've been told, my grandfather held me in his arms and didn't want anyone to take me away from him. To take him away from me. I don't know. However you word it, it's not important. The important part is, whenever I woke up that day, I realized something. I realized that by waking up, the world was my eggshell. And keep in mind, I was an egg at the time, and I didn't understand anything at all. I didn't have not one nary of a clue what was going on. Hard boiled, like I said, just been dipped in water. And no, it wasn't a baptism. It wasn't some sacrilegious ritual. Anything like that. Nothing was going on. Nothing out of the ordinary that happened to happen didn't even happen. If that makes, and of course it makes sense. Because I'm the one that said it. Alright. And the next plausible explanation that I was given is that it happened like lightning in the sky. In other words, it was the most naturally occurring thing that you could ever imagine that would happen in your dream. Do you get what I'm doing here? I'm mocking someone. I'm not sure who it is, but it's a celebrity that talks like this. Yeah, it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know why I just did a Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway, by the time I got 11 years old, I remember I woke up and opened my bedroom door. At the time I was living at my aunt's house. Looked on my bedroom door and seen it was like a flyer. Had to be a letter, but I couldn't read, so of course I didn't know what it said. I was like DW from Arthur. She said, because you guys haven't seen that meme, she says, this isn't going to bother me because I can't read. And then she opens the door. Or like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. He apparently writes something down on a piece of paper in this meme template that they have, and then he puts it up to the glass, and then when the glass is Hey, hang on one second. We got a small dick energy. Small dick! Oh, would you look at that? I'm 40 years old and can't see my toes. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What ended up happening was he ends up putting it, because he's on the outside of the school, right? And for whatever reason, they're on the inside. And you know how whenever you're in the school, sometimes you can look outside and you can see like the grass and all kinds of, you know, maybe like the playground or whatever. Well, that must have been what those kids were looking at whenever Bobby Hill put the sign up. He's trying to, I guess, tell them something without actually screaming it to their classroom, because he was on the other side of the glass. And his principal comes by, and his principal says, if those kids could read, they'd be disappointed. And I'm like, what the? Where'd you come from? You know, she's supposed to be in there grading papers. I don't know what principals do. You know, you can't ask me nothing. Anyway, like I said, you know, somebody left a flyer or something on my bedroom door that day that I woke up. I must have been like 11 or 12 years old. I asked my mom to read it to me, and then she said, it says, I had a great time last night, and you should call me. And there was no phone number, just an email address. And I was like, how am I supposed to call it? So she started talking about Skype. I went outside, looked up at the sky, didn't see anything. So I walked back into the house. Well, I tried to. The door was locked. So I thought, well, damn. Now I'm going to have to cast a level 2 lightning spell on this door, and whenever it opens up, I'm going to be mad at someone for locking the door. So, couldn't cast a level 2 lightning spell, but I could remember the email address. And then that's when I realized that I forgot my phone. It was in my car. My aunt had my car because she had to go to work. So she wouldn't be back for another 3 days, you know, as one does whenever you start working. I was like, well, damn. Left my phone keys in my car keys next to my phone where my car keys were, and my aunt went to work. So, you know, I mean, it typically takes people 2 or 3 days to get back from work. I remember one time I had to go there, and it took me a whole 3 days to get back. But anyway, I was walking down the street because I had nothing else to do. I was locked out of my house, didn't have a car. For that matter, I didn't know how I was going to get from one side of the road to the next. So I'm walking to the gas station. I finally find the gas station. Whenever I do, I go in there and then I ask the guy if I can use his computer. He tells me if I can get it untangled, then I can gladly use his computer. And I thought he was talking about his girlfriend, because she was tangled up. She was tangled up in the corner, and I was like, well, this doesn't make any sense. At first I thought that I was dreaming, but then I realized that I already ate a funnel cake today, so I couldn't have been dreaming. You know, as one does. You really can't eat funnel cakes in your dreams. I've tried, trust me. I've always wet the bed. So I figured, seeing as though that I already had a funnel cake and I didn't wake up peeing, that there was no chance of me getting home unless, of course, I did what Dorothy did in The Wizard of Oz, the hokey pokey. And I didn't have a key or a lock, so there's no way that I could. I mean, the hokey pokey is a two-man dance. You can't do that, you know? And you need a key, a lock, and a blowtorch in order to even get the in order to even try to accomplish it, you know? Earlier I told you about goals, you know? You gotta accomplish goals in your life. And right now I've got a few of them. First of all, I need to find my phone. And that's what I was thinking to myself the other day. where's my phone? You know, like, couldn't find it. There's nothing going on in the house, and there's definitely not any Wi-Fi near here or over there, anywhere else for that matter. And the next thing that I realized was that I didn't have my vehicle, and I was already at the gas station trying to get to this motherfucker's computer, but I couldn't get to his computer either because he told me it was tangled up, but I didn't see it anywhere. And I didn't even know this guy, you know. I don't know what he's got on his computer. So I told him thanks for letting me use the bathroom, and then I left. You see how many goals that I had to accomplish today? I can't even get my front door open. Some dickhead left me a note telling me to look at the sky. Maybe he was telling me to get on a website called Skype. I'm not really sure. But anyway, these goals that I'm trying to accomplish them all in one day. And sometimes that can be difficult, you know? Sometimes you just gotta, like I said, baby steps, you know? Because whenever you try to accomplish a goal, sometimes you don't find what it is that you need in order to get to that goal. But sometimes you got to take smaller steps in order to get to the bigger picture. Think about Jesus, you know? Jesus, and I'm not trying to blaspheme here or anything, you know, not at all. He had smaller goals that he had to accomplish. He had to flex on some people and tell them, hey, I was the Messiah that I told you all that I would be. You know, you guys told me that I wasn't the Messiah. And on top of that, you've been hanging and crucifying people for years who would come and say that they were the Son of God. But whenever you finally meet me, what do? You get mad at me. You sell me for 12 pieces of silver or something. Yeah, I see you, Jewish people, over here trying to live your life. Judas. You know, he's basically a Benedict Arnold. And I'm not talking about the thing that you order whenever you go to IHOP either. I'm talking about Benedict Arnold. You know, the guy who, in case you didn't know, he sort of turned his back on America during the Revolutionary War. The guy has 2 first names and he's going to turn his back on America. Stupid British outlaws. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You know, smaller goals to accomplish the bigger goals. That's what Jesus did, right? I mean, he cured a blind man. And on top of that, I mean, he did a lot of other, I don't want to say magic tricks, you know, miracles. A lot of people would say magic tricks, and I don't know why, you know, I mean, think about it. Miracles. They have to be miracles, because none of us can do them, right? So, they're miracles. He was a carpenter, or a miracle worker of some sort. But anyway, he's no Bob Marley, you know. I mean, get your priorities straight. A lot of people would put Bob Marley above, like, Jesus, because he did, like, peace work or whatever. I don't know why. I would put Jesus first. And I don't necessarily like Bob Marley, or Bobby McFerrin, or Bobby Hill, or Bobby Roode. But anyway, I just, you know, life goes on. What ends up happening is, you know, I was walking through the forest, couldn't find anything to eat, and like I said, smaller goals, but I could find a coconut. The only problem was I didn't know how to get into the coconut. Like I said, I ain't got a key, I ain't got a secret password to get inside the coconut, you know. I didn't know how to get this thing to open its legs. It's not important. Why am I talking about it? But I did see some water, so I decided to go take a drink of the water. Thought that it'd be a good idea at the time. I mean, fresh water tastes fresh enough to me. Little did I know that I was at the Caribbeans. And for those of you who aren't aware, They have some of the saltiest seawater you'll ever taste. And earlier that day, I got bit on the tongue by a spider. And then I got stung by a yellow jacket on the cheek. Because I was hiking through the Andes Mountains. Don't ask me how I got from the Andes Mountains to the Caribbean. It's a very long story. I guess I'll have to tell you at another time. But don't worry, it took a lot of baby steps. It took a lot of preparation, you know. As you would know, that if you have any small steps to get you to your bigger goal, as I've stated before, you know, consistency is something that I pride myself on. But back to what I was saying. Couldn't get inside the coconut, didn't know the magic password, didn't have a lock and a key, and for that matter, I wasn't about to break any bones. Tried to elbow drop it from the top rope, didn't work. Tried to use a metal chair that I seen laying around. Didn't know whose chair it was, but figure steel metal folding chair could crack open a person's skull on TV, you know, much like Seth Rollins. I'd crack open someone's skull, or for that matter, catch them off guard. I figure if my best bet was to basically use a metal folding chair to solve all my problems, just like I've seen on many instances of professional wrestling. But that wasn't the case. Especially in this instance when the coconut went straight into the sea. And like I said, I thought, okay, coconut's in the sea. Obviously, I want the water that's from the coconut to come to me, so I better drink the water that's in the sea. And it didn't work. I got botulism, toxin, and I got 4 strains of hepatitis DNA. Yeah, they make that now. Hepatitis D, hepatitis N, and hepatitis A. Oh, and small penis syndrome, apparently, if you heard that motorcycle just drive by me. You know, some dickhead jackass, probably on his way to, yeah, I probably shouldn't say that. You know, he's probably on his way to fuck his grandma or something, and he's got to impress her, because, of course he does. If you think about it, he's probably got somewhere to be. I'm sure, just like all of us do. At the end of the day, you're always trying to meet your goal. And trying to meet your goal can be very difficult whenever you don't have the right ride to get it done. And that's why motorcycles are completely stupid, you know, whenever you think about it. Also, the fact that 2 wheels is legal here in beautiful, beautiful Bluefield, West Virginia. But 4 wheels is illegal. Some stupid law. Yeah. I don't know who came up with that one. But it's not very fun. Because I know how to drive a 4-wheeler. But no one around me. No one around me wants to drive a 4. They're like, just get you a bicycle or something. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Trapped in the rainforest, so I decided it was a good idea to drink the coconut water out of the sea. And in doing so, I got 4 types of DNA: botulism, toxin, and 4 types of hepatitis DNA. Yeah, I got all 4 out of 4 types. I didn't realize it until I woke up at the hospital the next morning, and the doctor looked at me, and of course he's trying to tell me while hopping on one leg that I could be facing low potassium levels. And then I told him, that's great, I'll face it when it gets here. Just like my opponent tonight is going to face the chair. And then my entrance music played and I walked out of that hospital. I didn't even have to sign any paperwork. The only thing that I had to do was tip my waiter which I didn't remember seeing a waiter. Just a few cute nurses. More small dick energy as, of course, a 4x4, probably a high lift or something, decides that it's a good idea to drive past me. And at the time that it drives past me, it has to make sure that it revs its engine really loud so that you know that he's not got any big balls, you know, small balls, small dick energy, as I stated before. He's probably eating a hot dog with one hand, and for that matter, he's probably drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade with the other hand. You know, small dick energy. Anyway, I woke up in the hospital, and I left the hospital after I seen a few cute nurses, and apparently they wouldn't give me their phone number because I asked for their phone number, but all they gave me was an email address. I really didn't like that. I was walking home, and she told me to Skype her. Once again, I looked up at the sky, and I didn't see anything. Yeah, people around this time are really weird. While I was walking home, though, I couldn't help but hear something in my ear, and it turns out that there was a small white guy standing 5 feet from me, and he was wearing sunglasses and what looked like one of those suits that Steve Harvey would wear, but what clearly wasn't Steve Harvey. Maybe he went to the designer men's warehouse just like Steve Harvey does. And the next thing that I seen was that he was yelling into a microphone, "Everybody make some noise!" And I asked him what his problem was, and he told me, "Hey man, I'm Pitbull, how are you?" And I was like, "Well, you don't look like much of a dog, but I'll take your word for it." And he said, "Yeah, they just paid me $100,000 every venue just to say, 'Everybody make some noise.'" And I was like, "Oh, okay, do you mind sharing it?" And then he said, "Yeah, that's no problem, man. You want to make some noise?" I was like, "Huh? I don't understand what your goal is." And then he's like, "Well, my goal is I'm a hype man." He's like, "I'm a fronter, you know. I go out there and I have people make some noise." I was so confused. I didn't understand what he was trying to get me to agree to, but I accepted the terms and conditions, and after I pressed OK and accept, all of a sudden he just picked me up. Like, he's really strong, you know. I thought he was a small white man, but no, he's really strong. Pitbull must be like 230 pounds, maybe. I mean, he's much bigger than I am, that's for damn sure. I mean, for a dog, he's treating me like Knuckles, you know, from Sonic the Hedgehog. And then he started flying all of a sudden, out of nowhere, rap music started playing. And I was wondering what the hell was going on. And he told me he dropped me off in Las Vegas. And I woke up in a hotel room, and I went to leave. Whenever I did, opened the front door, and the next thing I knew, I had a piece of paper on the door, and I couldn't read it. So I used Google Translate and AI bot to read it for me, and he told me he had fun last night and I should call him, but he only gave me his email address. I thought that was pretty strange, seeing as though that I didn't see any numbers. And was just wondering, who the hell is Pitbull? And why does he get paid so much? Just to say 3 simple words. 4 simple words, actually. Is everybody one word, or is it 2? Everybody. I mean, I feel like it's a 2-syllable one word, but I could be wrong there. But that's not important. You know, you get paid $100,000 just to say 2 or 3 words at one venue. Who are you, fucking Kid Rock? No. You're not even adult rock, you know? And kids shouldn't be making that much money. Do you know how much money Kid Rock makes? Yeah, I don't either. But that's not the point. The point is that whenever you finally get to where you're going, your goals in life, you know, like Pitbull's goal in this hypothetical story that I, of course, have spun for you. His goal is for everybody to make some noise. But in order to get there, I'm sure that he had to take some baby steps in order to ensure that everyone was going to, in fact, make said noise. I wonder what happens when no one makes any noise, you know? Does DJ Khaled just not pay this man? And why were so many people leaving their email addresses and telling me to text them? Like, I don't understand that. Give me your phone number if you want me to text you, you know? That makes absolutely, positively no sense to me. Especially the fact that no one there knows who you are. And that happened to me like 4 times this week. So, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I need to ask someone for some answers. Thank you all so much for joining me this week. My name is Mocha. This has been the Gut Wrench Podcast, episode number 93, if I remember correctly. I never bothered to check it, but I suppose that I could do that now. Yes, I can. I was afraid that if I was to close that it wouldn't let me do that. One second here, and all right. I hope that you all enjoyed this improvised episode for I've been so busy at work and everywhere else that I wasn't able to really sit down this week and provide my audience with sufficient enough wrestling that I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and I had this idea sat down basically. And for those of you who don't know what this is my unofficial Netflix special. So, you know, I was on stage for a minute, then I was telling some stories, and hopefully it still contains the same vibes as the consistent and long-running, episodic, energetic episode that I usually kind of pump out every week. I feel as though that I've met my goal for the week, and seeing as though that I only had this is Friday whenever this is being recorded, and it's like 9 o'clock. So I knew that I wouldn't be able to get out an episode by Saturday because, you know, it's almost 10 o'clock at night, and unless I plan on staying up all night and taking notes for a wrestling event, that I wasn't going to be able to meet that goal. And I do apologize for any interruptions that have happened throughout this episode, but those are out of my control. And those are nothing but neckbeards who've got nothing better to do with their lives. Yes, episode number 93. My name is Mocha. This has been the Gut Wrench Podcast. I would like to thank those of you who have stuck around for the full 30 minutes instead of, you know, trying to make sense out of what doesn't make sense, because I decided instead of explaining it to you that I would just go ahead and see where it goes after so much. It's hard to explain. I would just explain it to you after it's already done, as in giving you the context once the episode is already concluded. So thank you all so much for joining me. That's a wrap. Good night, everybody. So there I was in the middle of the McDonald's, and this guy just taps me on the shoulder and asks me, "Buddy, who are you talking to? There's nobody. You keep looking over at the wall and talking or whispering to yourself. Who are you talking to?" And I just looked at him, and he's dressed in red gym shorts, and it's negative 10 degrees outside, and flip-flops and a scarf and a red baseball cap. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy must have stepped out of a time machine, because he looks like that he's from the 1990s, you know? Because, I mean, who dresses like that anymore? Especially whenever it's negative 15 degrees outside. Whenever you think about anything that happens in your life that would ultimately decide the meaning of your life, and especially the style of your clothes. Someone of that nature just makes me sick. It turns my stomach. As a matter of fact, while I was waiting there at that McDonald's, as I previously mentioned, I ended up throwing up, because this guy was looking at me like I was a diseased creature, you know, and I couldn't stand that. So, per my ultimate judgment, I decided that it was a good idea to go to the bathroom and splash some water on my face. And whenever I came out of the bathroom, that guy that I told you that was wearing like sandals, red baseball cap, and gym shorts, well, now he was wearing nothing but a Grimace costume, you know, the fucking mascot for McDonald's. I was so confused. So of course I went back into the bathroom and I started splashing toilet water on my face. And whenever I came out, I slipped and tripped on my own vomit. Because like I said, I was throwing up earlier. But somehow the throw up, instead of being in the line that I was in, somehow it had moved from the line that I was in, which was previously 15 feet away from the bathroom, to the bathroom floor. So I went back into the bathroom and I splashed some water on my face again from the toilet. And then whenever I came back out, that guy that I was telling you guys about that was wearing a Grimace costume now only had half of a Grimace costume on, and the other half was Freddy Krueger costume. And I mean, it was almost like split down the middle. Half was Freddy Krueger and half was Grimace. And I was like, well, that is my worst nightmare. This is a creepy fucking acid trip, is what I was thinking. And the next thing I did was I walked outside, and all of a sudden it went from negative 15 degrees to positive 95 degrees within the blink of an eye. It was almost like I was living on the moon, or the Tinkle Taco Zone, or the Twilight Zone rather. I don't know what the Tinkle Taco Zone is, but you know, it must be whatever the opposite of the Twilight Zone is. And I just remember sitting there just wondering, where did my life go wrong? And as I was burning up, I started seeing like mirages of like cowboys and fish sticks all over the place, and I couldn't quite I couldn't quite contain myself, you know. And maybe it had something to do with me splashing toilet water on my face like 3 times. But whenever I opened my eyes, I kept hearing a ringing noise. Whenever I opened my eyes, this guy was looking at me and he said, "Hey buddy, are you okay?" And I swear he was dressed up like a fish stick. And I was so incomprehensible, or so uncoordinated, unorthodox, and what have you, that I remember answering his question and saying, "Could you bring me the tartar sauce?" And he brought it to me, and I poured it straight on him. And then I said, "Thank you. Thank you, sir." And his wife was looking at me, and she looked like she was dressed like a shrimp. So now I'm not making fun of her size, like she wasn't small or anything. You know, I've heard the old expression, shrimp dick, and that's of course referring to a small dick, but I wasn't referring to that. I was referring to the fact that she, like, in my delusional state, which no one was calling me an ambulance, she told me, though, that that wasn't very nice. And then I asked her if she could bring me the cocktail sauce. I asked her, rather, if she could bring me the cocktail sauce, because, you know, cocktail sauce goes good with shrimp, from what I'm told. I've never tried it, but she did. She went inside the Burger King and brought me the cocktail sauce, and whenever she did, I went ahead and poured it on her. Or, I mean, the McDonald's. I can't remember whether I was at a Burger King or a McDonald's, but that's not important. And I poured the cocktail sauce on her, and she thought that I was trying to be rude, but I told her that whenever I have a talking fish stick and a talking shrimp talking to me, it's extremely hard to take anything that they say seriously. And then she said, "Sir, do you need me to call you an ambulance?" And then I said, "No, you don't have to call me names." You see, because I thought that she was going to look at me and then say, "You're an ambulance." Because technically that would be calling someone an ambulance. But I bet she should have said, you know, "Do you want me to call emergency services?" Something like that. You got to be careful how you talk to some people, because there's people like me that just be a smartass all the time. But at the same time, it's better to be a smartass than a dumbass, I guess. And the next thing I seen was this man on the floor, and he was flopping around like a fish. And I can't remember how, but I do remember someone coming up and grabbing him and putting him in a cooler, almost like trying to keep him fresh, you know. And I heard a ding, like a ding noise, and I woke up and I was in the bathroom. So that whole entire thing must have been just a dream sequence of someone's imagination. And upon said dream sequence of someone's imagination, I remember waking up and then thinking, man, I'm never snorting toilet water again, you know? Because, I mean, if that happened to me in this dream sequence and I was passed out in the bathroom, this guy trying to wake me up, and he looked like a talking diaper. And I was, who the hell is this? And he told me that his name is Mr. Diaper. So, of course, I listened to everything that Mr. Diaper had to say, because he told me that his parents' names were Johnsons and Johnsons, and they owned a family company. And he told me that I'm going to have to get out of his facility because they accused me of doing drugs. And I couldn't comprehend what it is that he was trying to say, but it wasn't pretty. and he smelled bad. I'm not sure what part of that was supposed to be like him being serious or him just making a whole bunch of, potty mouth jokes toward me. And he didn't have to get all potty mouth on me. I mean, I get it. I snorted toilet water, done a lot worse in my life. But at the same time, whenever you look at someone like that who doesn't have their life together, it's almost incomprehensible to take them seriously, because you have to deal with a lot of family problems, I'm sure, because your family name is Johnson's and Johnson's, and of course it had to be a family company. Be like a rapper named Little Caesars. I mean, you're just begging for trouble. Or for that matter, if your name was Jesus and then you spelled it Jesus, like a lot of people would be mad at you for that. I just mean if you're a rapper, like just imagine for a minute you're in the public eye and you're a rapper in this hypothetical scenario that I've painted for you, and your name is like Little G, and then instead of just announcing your name as Little G, there's a pause because, of course, there's a hyphen between G and E and USE. Little G, Zus. Like, not only are you little G's, but also you're sus, I'm going to stop saying because that's annoying. However, you can't look at these guys and automatically take what they say at face value just because, you wake up in a Burger King and the next thing I hate to keep saying that, but the next thing that happens is someone's breathing down your neck telling you to get out of their Johnson's and Johnson's facility. But then I promptly took the shampoo out of my hands out of my pocket. I don't keep shampoo in my hands. What do I look like, a soap dispenser? I took the shampoo out of my pocket and I promptly washed my hands and also my face and my hair. And it was a very relaxing, rewarding experience. But back to my first story. I was in line and I was trying to tell this guy that he didn't see whoever it was that was standing beside of me, with the proximity error that I was having, because this guy was right beside of me and he kept asking me why exactly it was that I was talking to myself whenever he told me I was talking to a wall, but I don't remember talking to any walls. It sounds a bit strange and convoluted. So, of course, I had to drop him like a sack of potatoes. I hit this man right square in the button of the nose and he dropped like a sack of potatoes. Of course, they called the police and the police gave me a medal. They told me that he was a wanted criminal out of Yugoslavia. And whenever he told me that, I took offense to it because I thought that he was calling my mom a Slavia, which is Russian for a certain word. You don't call my mom a Slavia. Only I can do that. But he gave me a medal and he promoted me to deputy. He also deputized me so that if I see any more criminals, that I can slap the cuffs on them and send them in the pokey, And the next thing that I did was I set up a traffic cone over at the Burger King that I was at, and I told anybody that if they wanted to get past that traffic cone, that they're going to have to pass a sobriety test. And all night that night, I ended up doing nothing but field sobriety tests to make sure that these customers at the select Burger King that I was at, to make sure that they're not under the influence of any drugs like I was. The toilet water, you know, you can't. I keep saying and I swear that I'm not trying to, you know, and I said it again. God damn it! This is going to be like one of those drinking games where you guys say in the comments or something, take a shot every time he says because that would be funny. I said it again. God damn it. Okay. I need another transition word other than because not everyone knows. Anyway, the next thing that I did, there's another one. Yeah. The next thing that I did was I woke up in the bathroom of this hotel room, and I was humped over the toilet, and I was thinking to myself, oh no, did I do it again? Did I do the toilet water? And I thought, there it is again. God damn it. I only have a few moments before the police show up and throw me into the pokey because they deputized me, but here I am breaking my own laws, breaking my own rules, and I can't do that, I can't do that because that wouldn't necessarily bring any I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. Get what I'm saying? That's a good one. That's another good one. Yeah, I'm going to write that one down. You understand that this is a ransom letter, and I'm not going to kneel to your demands. You better not tell the police that I'm here and that you will be self-conscious at this point in time. Understand what I'm saying, and you will be under the impression that I have the fullest extent of the power in order to encapsulate the... Oh, I'm sorry guys, I was reading my lunch menu from last week. I got off topic. What were we talking about again? Thank you all so much for joining me. I know you've already heard the outro, once again, I'm getting into the habit of saying, Oh, come on, guys. You just know. I swear that's not on purpose. I know that you've already heard the outro, however, because I'm the one who I just recorded it not that long ago. However, this episode was done in order to speak time and just fill an episode, because I didn't have necessarily any time in order to preparation for an episode for professional wrestling. And this strike is getting out of hand. It's starting to really weigh on me because I have to download an episode of AEW or watch an episode of AEW Dark, which isn't fun most of the time. Whenever I say that it's not fun, it's not that it's not entertaining. It's just that I have to pause every few seconds, take notes. I have to stay off of stuff like social media, talking to friends and stuff of that nature. Have to put my phone down and just basically make it to wherever it's nothing but the absolute fondest of professional wrestling. Try to make an observation here or there, or try to, go in depth about the story and how I feel that it was told, or for that matter, how exactly it was portrayed to be told. What exactly is it that I'm saying? How exactly do I get to that next sentence, and how exactly does it convey to those of you who may or may not hear what it is that I'm saying? How exactly does it sound? And on a deeper meaning, on a deeper level, wrestling isn't just about, I watched a wrestling match. Oh, it's a pretty cool wrestling match. It's culture. It's not like football. It's not like, did you see the game? Yeah, I watched it. I think Green Bay's going down this season. I hate to say it, but Pittsburgh's got them beat. Did you see the NASCAR race? Yeah, I seen it. Tony Stewart's gonna win. He always wins. Did you see the baseball game? Yeah, I watched it. He throws the ball like a little girl. It's not like any of these sports that you might see throwing a ball. Oh, look at that, he threw another ball. Oh, look at that, he made another left turn, made another right turn. Oh, would you looky here, he's got tennis, or, okay, now the Venus sisters win yet another trophy. John McEnroe wins yet another trophy. Tiger Woods hits another hole-in-one. All of these are repeatedly, honestly going to keep happening. And it's so hard to understand unless you actually understand, I keep saying, God damn it. I need another transaction word. But this episode was practically just me going to town on some convoluted story for entertainment purposes, And I hope that those of you who have listened up to this point are listening in a fashion that's like, okay, well, didn't quite know what this was, but I'm glad that I tuned in. Or maybe I made you laugh. Maybe I don't necessarily know how much of an entertainment value this was, because it was just some dumbass rambling about a non-existent story, someone drinking toilet water while snorting, and for that matter, while snorting, like that's any better. And I said, again, God damn it, I swear I'm going to go through some shock therapy. Every time that I say the word, I'm just going to push a button and then shock myself, because my uncle does this thing. I don't know if you guys ever have any relatives or anyone like that you might know of someone who has a problem communicating, and he has a severe problem communicating because every other word is one of three possibilities. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Oh man, there's another one that he says too. It's damn it. Well, anyway, what I mean to say is that, you know, I don't want to come off as this person that says one phrase every other word. And I almost said it again, you know, unless it's appropriate to say it. Because he always says, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, it's not important. It's just something that I thought that I'd bring up in psychology. And you yourself, the listener of this podcast, should maybe be more aware of what it is that you're saying, and make it a habit not to say the same thing every episode, you know, every time. And another thing that you could do is buy the merch, linked down below. But like I said, I just didn't have sufficient enough time because I had to worry about a job interview. I had to basically get everything set up this week, and I didn't even get started on a wrestling episode, so I figure, if anything, this episode's better than any episode, better than no episode rather, and it keeps my consistent. Hang on one second. There we go. Some drunk son of a bitch just driving down the road. Nothing to worry about here. You know, if they just... I said you know again. God damn it. If the government would just outlaw alcohol, we wouldn't have this problem. Because they're definitely not going to outlaw like vehicles. And it's just as simple as that. As simple as that. Once you take away the problem, the solution will find itself. That's understandable, right? See, I almost said, you know, again. But I said that's understandable. Anyway, getting off the topic, hope that you guys had a great day. And for that matter, I really hope that you found this episode to be somewhat entertaining, somewhat enjoyable, and maybe it's not a wrestling episode, but like I said, it's going to keep consistently, it's going to keep my consistent episode flow going, so hopefully someone out there enjoyed it, and consider this my unofficial Netflix special until I get a Netflix special. Thank you all so much for joining me. That's a wrap. Good night, everybody.